All right.
Okay, day 2.
Day
upper body
2.
strength and mobility. So this is primarily going to be upper body strength with some mobility incorporated into it, and then we're going to finish with some shoulder and thoracic spine mobility.
Yeah, shoulder, thoracic spine.
As promised yesterday.
Yeah, and even the strength part is going to be a lot more mobility based. Full range of motion, like obviously pull-ups and stuff, but some unique stuff like behind the neck presses, and a few other things for the shoulders as well that we're going to do. Okay,
so we've just done a little warm-up. We're going to get straight into it. I'm going to go 5 sets. We always like to start the first superset with 5 sets. So I'm going to start with these pull-ups, and I'm going to use this 20-kilo dumbbell between my legs. You can use a rope with a plate as well. It gives you more kind of flexibility, but I don't have a rope, so we're gonna use this. Let's see how we go. How does it feel?
Hard. So hard.
Okay, first set of overhead push. I'm gonna do handstand push-ups. It's gonna be interesting because it's been a few months since I've done this. We just weighed ourselves, I'm now 97 kilos, so about 4 kilos heavier than when I last did it. So I'm gonna give it a go in the first set. If it's too hard, I'm gonna probably just do wall handstand push-ups or do stutter sets. So when we're doing supersetting this with the pull-ups, I like to give myself 1.5 to 2 minutes break in between to let my body recover a bit. Especially with movements like this, because like you're not just using brute force, like you're using a lot of things together, a lot of coordination, a lot of body awareness as well, and not just kind of like, you're not sitting at a machine, like just having to focus on one muscle, basically. So in my opinion, it uses up a lot more energy. Happy with that.
That was really good.
When you're doing handstand push-ups, like you want to squeeze everything. Your glutes, your legs, your core. Try and flex your toes, point your toes. Like you don't want to be lifting any dead weight, so it's going to make the movement so much harder. So just think like you want to lift like a solid plank of wood, as opposed to letting any part of your body flop or dangle or whatever. So that's first superset down.
My variation of a push will be the behind the neck press. The reason why I'm sitting down is just so that I can try to avoid compensating by arching through my lower back. So this kind of just reminds me to suck the tailbone in and keep the ribs pinned in as well. And the reason why I love this one is because it really challenges the mobility of the shoulders. It makes the scapula move in that nice position at the back. And I'll try to pump the weight up a little bit on this, but we'll see how we go. Form is always more important, and quality of movement than load.
Okay, 4 sets down. I'm struggling with the 5x5 for handstand push-ups today, so here's a couple of ways you can modify it. And you can do this depending on whatever level you are. Even if you're working on feet elevated pike push-ups, you can apply the same principle. So I did my 4th set, I only got to 3 handstand push-ups. So the first way you can approach this is by completing your last 2 reps or stutter reps. So take 10 seconds, do the next rep, take 10 seconds, do the next rep. If that's too hard and like you're still struggling to do that, so I'll do my 3 handstand push-ups and I can finish my remaining 2 reps with a less intense variation. So for example, the feet elevated pike push-up, and come here, and now when my feet are on the wall, it's taking a little bit of pressure, a little bit of weight off my hands. So I can finish the 2 reps. And I can even go more on like burnout, depending on how much I've got in the tank. So that's the second way you can modify to still make sure you get the intensity in. And then the third way, I think there was just 2 ways. What's the third way?
The third way is high.
Well, the third thing you can do is I can finish my 2 reps with the full handstand push-up freestanding, but just only focus on eccentrics. So I'll just come to the top of my movement. I'll come down as slow as I possibly can. Even hold here for a sec if you can. Come down, back up. And you can finish your sets with just the eccentric portion of the movement. 4 down, 1 more superset to go.
To recap, we have done our pull, which was Josh did weighted pull-ups, I just did regular bodyweight pull-ups. He was doing push, handstand push-ups, and I was doing behind the neck press. So now we're going to move on to series B, which will be pull. What's our pull exercise? Rows, inverted rows, and our push will be deep push-ups.
Yeah.
Typically, we prefer to do rows on rings. We like that a lot more, but we don't have rings with us today, so we're just going to have to do it on a bar, on a straight bar to improvise.
So yeah, we've done our vertical pull and push exercises, superset. Now we're going to do a horizontal pull and push superset. Ready to get going?
Ready.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Front lever tuck rows. So I'm going to do it with this bar. We're going to do 3 sets of this superset. First couple of reps, I always like to try and start with like a raise, kind of like this, and then go into my row. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If you are going to do it like that and incorporate the raise, try and lock in that front lever before you start the row. Otherwise it kind of becomes all a bit messy. So like I want to come up here, lock it in, up, lock it in again, back down. Because otherwise, especially towards the end of the set, kind of just starts to all blur into one and it kind of gets, yeah, less effective. So set number 1 done. Vanya, you were going to do
Ice cream makers.
ice cream makers, let's go.
I'm going to do an ice cream maker, but a modified version, because I'm very fatigued from my pull-ups. So I literally can't even do a pull-up anymore. So I'm just going to pull up, go into a lever, and try to come down as slow as I can. Typically, I would go back into a pull. And I'll just do cluster reps of this.
Slow. Nice. Horizontal pull, let's go.
I'm always strongest on my last set. So I was super weak before, but I reckon this last set I got 3 reps in me. And plus I've changed the bar. So I think that this is a lucky bar. So I'm gonna try to do 3 ice cream makers.
Next session, you're gonna get 5 reps.
Yeah.
What do you like about ice cream makers?
I mean, I typically like them because it just feels really nice in the joints. Like when you go from bend to straight, it gives you a really nice, good pump. And it's also really good to like get the extended time in that lever position if you can't hold a lever. But yeah, it takes a bit of practice.
Okay, we're gonna superset the row variation with deep push-ups. Now, I would argue that this is one of the best mobility exercises you can do for your chest and like the front of your shoulders. Because as you go down, as you go deep, not only opening your entire chest, but like you're actually building the strength there. It's gonna make it a lot harder. You'll be able to use a lot less weight than you would normally be able to use with just a regular push-up. But yeah, let's see how we go. I'm gonna use this 20 kilo. Preferably, I'd be doing pelican push-ups on the rings. But as Vanya said, we don't have access to rings today, so we're gonna make do with these dumbbells. if you can on the last rep, hold at the bottom. 3, 2, 1. Deep push-ups.
All right, so I'm definitely not as strong as Josh. I won't be using any external load. This will be challenging enough for me as it is. And push-ups for me have always been kind of a weakness. I've always been a lot better at pulling than I have been at pushing.
So if you're unable to do a full push-up even like this, what you can do, same thing, elevate the hands, but just do it from your knees. That in itself is going to be a lot harder than a regular knee push-up, just because of the depth that you're going through. And also you don't have to go as low as I did, but you want to aim, you want to strive to get that low. So you want to go as low as you feel comfortable, get to that end range. As you build the strength, as you get more comfortable, your body will be more confident in going lower and lower. And that's when you're building more range. And honestly, like this will give you one of the best chest pumps you've had. For me, a far better chest pump than I ever got from a bench press. And you're actually lifting, it looks like you're lifting less weight, but it's a lot harder. How was that? Next. There's something about training outdoors that feels so much better. Just the fresh air, I feel so claustrophobic in there. With a million people queuing up for every machine. A variation of a bicep curl. Again, to mimic, similar to how we did the deep push-ups, to kind of mimic a pelican push-up. This is another great way to mimic a pelican push-up. It's gonna strengthen your biceps to an extended range. And also it's gonna really open up your chest and shoulders. So we're gonna do that and we're gonna superset that. It's more of a pulling movement. I'm gonna superset that again with a pushing movement. So we're gonna do dips, straight bar dips or parallel bar dips even. And we'll probably add a bit of weight to spice things up a bit. So let's get into it. Okay, so you can never lift as much weight with this as you could with a normal bicep curl. And when I'm doing this, I like to work in the 12 to 15 rep range. I feel like any less than that is a little bit pointless, you don't feel it. But yeah, start a bit lower, maybe start like 10 kilos. Maybe even a bit less if you haven't done loads of strength training. Because by the time you get to that 10th or 12th rep, you really do start to feel it. So with a normal bicep curl, like this, you're starting in a very neutral position. Whereas here, we're starting the movement in a lengthened position, making it much harder. So I'm gonna lean back on this. I wanna keep my core tight. Try and keep my my spine straight and my neck as well. I wanna face outwards. So I'm kind of, my arms are facing kind of like a 45-degree angle away from me, either side. And then I'm gonna bicep curl. Man, like you feel this so much more than you would in just a normal bicep curl. You ready to take it on, Vanya?
Yes. All right.
When was the last time you did this one?
Never. Is it like this?
Yep.
All right.
Try and angle your forearms a bit further behind you if you can. To open up your chest even more. Yeah, there you go. Squeeze the core and remember to breathe. A lot of people forget to breathe in this one, and if you don't, your neck starts to really tighten up. If you feel like you get neck pain when you're training, a lot of the time it just comes down to breathing. People, believe it or not, forget to breathe when doing many exercises, especially with body weight. Fully extend the arm at the bottom.
I reckon I can go up weight in this. Lightweight, baby.
How does it feel?
Good. It's a good stretch.
Yeah.
And shoulders. Next.
Any words of wisdom?
The curls get the girls, and the buys get the guys.
Tell us a fun fact about yourself.
I hung for 23 minutes straight.
You said that the other day.
On a bar. I never said that.
You did when we were talking.
That's my claim to fame.
All right, that can be your claim to fame. think they're going.
The joys of training in the commercial gym is that
Patience is a virtue.
you can never get equipment.
We can escape 90% of the queuing by coming outside, but we can't escape all of it.
We can't escape, no.
So I think we're good to go.
Over there. All right.
Okay, so we're going to superset with parallel bar dips. I'm going to add weight. You want to aim to lift a bit more weight than you did with pull-ups. So earlier I did pull-ups to 20 kilos. I want to do this with 25 kilos. And I'll probably go to 8 to 10 reps. I'll be happy with 8, to be honest. Since we're at the end of the workout today. Ooh, 10.
Solid.
Feels good.
Okay, so my variation of dips, I'm going to do super slow eccentrics with a pause in the bottom stretched position, and then I'll use my feet to assist me to come back up. I love this one, especially for beginners when they can't do really good dips. Learning how to come down with control, eccentric, and then pausing here really stretches out the shoulders. And then I'll just use my legs to jump up into support.
So similar to when you're weight training, if you can't lift X amount of weight, you can reduce the weight. Body weight's the same, except instead of adjusting the weight, you're adjusting the leverage or performing a different variation of the same movement. So for example, Vanya's still getting her reps here, targeting the same muscle group and muscle pattern, movement pattern as I was with the dips, except because she can't do the full rep with weight, so she's just adjusting it and performing eccentrics. How many is that?
Whew, 6, I think, and that will be it for me.
Ideally, try and hold it at 90 degrees instead of all the way at the bottom. So if you...
Yeah, I just like to prefer that really deep stretch for my shoulders. But that's another variation to do at 90 degrees as well.
4 more reps, come on, we're going to 10.
I'm good with 6.
We're going to 10.
I don't go to failure.
We're going to 10.
I stopped just short of failure.
Vanya's going to 6.
Oh, fine. I'll do 4 more. All right, so I'll stop at 90 degrees to show here. Tell me when.
Stop. Yeah, so if you go all the way down like she was at the beginning there, it's better for like a little weighted stretch at the bottom. If you want to focus more so on strength, I prefer this because you're literally having to hold yourself up in this position. You can't just kind of rest there, so to speak. Last one?
One more, yep.
Let's go, let's make it your slowest one yet.
Ooh,
if you're working on eccentrics of any movement, you want to work towards 10 seconds. So from top to bottom, you want to spend 10 seconds traveling. Apparently, I think if you can do 3 reps of 10 seconds, then by that point you can do 1 concentric.
Yeah, for pull-ups, that's true. When you accumulate, but yeah, I mean, there's different rep ranges you can work with, different eccentrics as well. For me, that was hard. All right, we've just finished our workout. I'm destroyed. My arms are about to fall off. We're going to finish off with 1 shoulder mobility and 1 upper back shoulder type mobility. 2 sets of each. Let's go.
Let's go.
All right, first one, I'm just going to do rotations into bridge. So basically what it looks like is here, rotating, coming around, back into a squat. I'll show you a variation that you can use to regress.
Why'd you like this one?
I love this one because it just opens up the whole chest, the shoulders, the hips, and it just prepares you, like if you want to do back bending, if you want to do opening up of the thoracic. It's just really nice through the chest. It just makes me feel really good. I love it. If you're not so flexible in the upper back, what you can do is cheat a little bit by pushing your hips forward and bending your elbow. So there's a little bit less kind of like opening up through the chest and the shoulders. A little bit of cheating there, but it's just like opening up through movement. Once you get more comfortable, you can get higher, keep your arms straighter, and rotate. So
this is too hard?
I typically like to do 10 reps. And if this is too difficult for you, a variation you can do is on the wall. So similar thing. I place my hand on, I want to rotate that palm, reach around, place my other hand on, and then come out. And then the goal is to eventually keep the arms straighter, push, come out, rotations into bridge. Ready?
Split.
And he failed. How do you feel? It's fatiguing, isn't it?
It's been a while since I've done this. It is very fatiguing, especially after a strength session, but it feels good.
Yeah, I mean, typically we would do this mobility stuff before our strength or in between our strength. But today we kind of did feel fatigued, both of us. So yeah, we're gonna just leave it at 2 sets. And kind of build up on the next session we come in.
This is one of my favorite weighted overhead shoulder mobility exercises. So I'm going to take a plate. This is 10 kilos. Honestly, it's quite heavy. I'll probably start with maybe 5 kilos, even 2 kilos the first time we try this. But I'm going to sit with my scapula making contact with the elevated surface here. I'm going to keep my core tight. There's different ways you can do this. I like to keep my core tight though. Shoulder, arms are going to be locked out. You want to extend your arms, maybe like this, extend. Come all the way up and back. And keep going as far back as you can, whilst keeping the core tight, okay? So I don't want to arch my back like this. Keep the core tight. Down. And then the strength is built as you come back up. It's 1 rep. Last one. Hold at the back. Come back up. How do I look?
Yeah, you look amazing.
Your turn.
And my turn.
Ready?
I do love this stretch. I like it because I feel like it just opens up my upper back a lot more. Also because my shoulders are quite flexible, my upper back is quite tight, or more tight. So I really feel like this digs in deep.
If you're someone who's kind of new to this and your shoulders are pretty tight, I'd honestly recommend keeping the core tight. It's a more accurate representation of where you are, because rounding the back can compensate for a lack of shoulder mobility.
Yeah, and also if you guys suffer from shoulder injuries, you have to be very careful, especially when using weight, because you don't want that weight to kind of pull you out of position if you lack stability. I would rather that you use a stick or something super, super light, or even just practice without any weight. Driving your hands back and pressing your upper back into that bench. That feels good.
Okay. How are you feeling?
I feel good. I feel a little bit fatigued today. Also because I think I've been doing 100 pull-ups a day for the last 12 days. So I think I might be a little bit fatigued.
What do you say a general sign of fatigue is?
So a good way to measure is grip strength. Like I found that today I just didn't have that grip strength, and that's also a sign of like neural fatigue. So I think I am pretty hammered.
Sleep?
Sleep also hasn't been that good. I haven't been getting enough sleep lately, so I'm really feeling it. Kind of just I got through it today, but it wasn't my best, like I didn't feel my best self.
I feel pretty good today. I feel heavy. I feel very heavy, but still quite strong.
Yeah.
So I'm feeling good. So that was our upper body show. Hopefully that can give you some insight into how you can incorporate mobility in with strength. Today I wanted to focus more on strength, but we did still get a fair bit of mobility in there as well, especially with some of like the weighted mobility. Like honestly, like the pump I get from it is just as good as going and smashing some like more traditional weight exercises. But you actually feel good, you feel open, you don't feel tight and stiff afterwards. So I like it. And then we finish with some mobility there. So it's not much, it's 3 supersets. 3 supersets and finish with some mobility. The first superset we go a bit heavier on, so 5 sets, and then the following 2 supersets we go 3 rounds of. And then we finish with like 5-10 minutes of like just more focused, I guess, isolated mobility. So we focus on shoulders today. Some days if we go through the workout and we feel like, I don't know, knees are particularly tight, we'll focus on knees a little bit extra at the end.
Yeah. Just open up the areas that are feeling stiff or not as good that day. And it's just maintenance, and we just do that daily, and we're always feeling like pretty much open and free and kind of like, ready to rock.
Yeah. And then with like structuring like the week, like normally we just do this twice a week for upper body. And the exercises don't stay the same. We normally just mix it up, keep it interesting, but the framework remains the same. So push and pull, push and pull, push and pull. Horizontal, as long as you're hitting horizontal movements, you're hitting vertical movements, and inverted also, for example, overhead shoulder press, handstand push-up variations. As long as we're hitting all 3, very good.
And we're just about to start like a new kind of program that we're going to design for ourselves, that we're going to kind of like track and put in some goals that we want to tackle. So we'll be documenting that as we go along. That will keep us accountable to kind of like progressing each and every session and sharing those wins with you guys as well.
Yeah. Well, we've got a meeting to get to, so we will see you tomorrow.
Cheers. Hi. What are you doing? Is that post workout snack? Protein. And what else did you have? Pistachio and protein ball. Show us your abs.